We can talk about anything in the universe that you young men want to talk about.
It wasn't a whole lot of music anyway. So
Prince got an album out.
I'm not listening to no posthumous. I don't listen to this.
I'm not going for it. I cut it on.
You know what?
I
cut it
on
right
in the
off.
car. Me and Ish was on the way up to Joe crib, cut it on, and I got halfway through song 1.
And song 2.
And
song
I skipped
3.
it and went to song 2, and then I was like, yo, this sounds like
This shit ain't hitting the same?
to me.
No,
It's like the Pimp a Butterfly, and I just cut it off.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what it sounded like to me. No disrespect to nobody. I just like, nah. And I cut on some
I
shit.
read the iTunes little paragraph for the album before I even pressed free sample on the Prince project.
And how did that make you feel?
Let me read it for you.
Please do.
It's hard to know what to make of the steady stream of releases to flow from Prince's legendary vaults. On one hand, even a casual fan can marvel at the sheer scope of his output and how he would regularly cast aside entire albums worth of songs that would be career highlights for any other artist. On the other hand, he was a meticulous artist with impossibly exacting standards that these songs didn't meet for whatever now unknowable reasons. So what does it mean to listen to them without his blessing?
They got deep on the description.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's
one way to look at it.
That's just letting you know these ain't make the cut, and we
Yeah.
trying to get some money from it.
Right.
Yeah. Just letting you know, yo, this ain't up to par.
I have never read a caption like that underneath an album,
Me either.
posthumous or not. They've always kind of praised or incentivized you to want to hear the project. I thought that was the whole purpose of this paragraph.
Sure.
This was the first time there was doubt cast on that. And while I understand their point, because I did go listen to it, and yeah, sounds unfinished
Should've
jam
stayed in the vault.
sessions. Just sounds like unfinished jam sessions or just creative tinkering.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't sound like finished final product, especially if you know Prince the way we know and love Prince. But I don't know why they did that.
That's interesting. I wonder who wrote it. Like,
Whoever
did his
wrote it
estate-
shouldn't have wrote none of that shit. I don't think. Well, they continued. Welcome to America does not offer any immediate clues as to its pariah status. Recorded in 2010 with New Power Generation, these are fully realized funk, R&B, and rock songs, often sharp and lyrically prescient. Nothing necessarily revelatory or adventurous by the measure of Prince's own formidable canon.
They're saying a lot of this is big.
Are
Like,
those
that's crazy?
I don't like how they wrote about it.
But
That's all I'll say.
contributors.
Excuse me.
It says 2 contributors, or are you reading from that?
No,
like
he
that
read-
might
he
be.
read from the iTunes thing. But what I get from that is we just saw it happen with Pop Smoke's album. The album comes out. People who were close to him are saying, yo, he wouldn't have put this out. He wouldn't have did it this way. This is trash. So it's kind of like them getting ahead of it. Like, we're going to put this out, tell you ahead of time, yo, he didn't okay this. This was shit he scrapped. We kind of tinkered and made it our own thing.
All right, so now
If you don't like it, that's why.
So now I'll continue to be morbid. What do y'all think about respecting the wishes of the dead?
I think it's important.
How important, though?
Very.
You
how-
mean in,
how
in
often-
this, in this sense or just period?
Period. How often do you think it's actually done? Like, because whatever they're saying in this paragraph about Prince, I say at every Prince tribute that they do at the award shows. Prince has been very vocal about tributes and how he feels.
He don't fuck
And
with
y'all
that.
doing his songs, and y'all can't fuck with me. Why is Trey Songz doing my song in front of me?
Right.
He was up there like this.
And now you're gonna pan the camera on me, and I'm gonna make faces the whole time.
That's exactly what he did.
And every time you give me an award, I'm gonna go up there and tell the young creators that they don't need labels and fuck y'all and fuck them and fuck everything.
Right.
So,
I don't
eh.
I don't listen to posthumous albums for that reason. I don't want to hear something that they didn't want us to hear.
Good point.
Point blank.
It's a good point.
Unless it's someone that was maybe making the music with them and that they would know what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like,
See,
God forbid someone...
I want to resist that, but I'm gonna take us in the geeky world. Fuck it, I'll do it. It's Friday.
Because God forbid someone I work with pass. But
We just watched Kanye West sell out a stadium, 50,000 people to hear unfinished music.
right.
So if you
That was his wish, though.
But if you have the estate
But
of Prince or Michael Jackson or any other artist at that, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know how well loved they are, it makes sense. It's a bag. So you're not emotionally attached. If you own the estate or the rights to Prince or Michael Jackson, and he got 7,000 songs in the tuck.
My problem in that case,
You just brought up.
That's
you
a
just
that's
brought
a
up
different.
such a great point.
that-
Let me just
please,
jump in real
yeah.
quick, Parks. You just brought up such a great point. Round of applause to the NBA and Adam Silver for the tribute that they did to Terrence,
Amazing.
who lost his life in a car crash in April, right? And they put his picture up. He would have been drafted. He was projected to be a top 10 pick. And I'm sure that was great for his family. But boy, did it make me really psychoanalyze what really went on. And it was troubling for my heart.
Nah, my man was like, when you look at shit like this, because you know my nephew got drafted, but they like when you look
And
at
we're
shit.
gonna
Congratulations.
no, not congratulations. Not congratulations. We're gonna get to that.
No, it's
It's fucked up what Ish did. Ish sanctioned his cousin to Atlanta.
On the low.
We're gonna talk about it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
anyway, right? But it puts into perspective, like, yo, who gives a fuck about this draft? A kid lost their life.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Well, no.
we kind of take certain things for granted. We sitting here arguing about what number you going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As opposed to saying, yo, we're in a blessed situation, period.
Right.
If you get to play under the 500 motherfuckers in the NBA, you're blessed, dog.
Right.
Period. Like, you're God is raining on you. This boy lost his life before he could ever fulfill his dream.
If you're an adult and you come from where we come from and you're blessed enough to make it out or just do well for yourself to be able to provide for your family in a way that you weren't that you didn't when you were growing up, right? Then you live with that feeling of, oh shit, this could all be gone in a second. Like it stays there with you, right? You live with the whatever anxiety comes with, hey, I have to stay alive long enough for this to pan out a certain way. I have to stay alive long enough for this to make sense. Not for me. I'm not even living for me no more. I'm living for my kids, and this just has to look a certain way. So, yeah, they did a tribute. But when I saw it, fam, the money that went out the door, you don't think, of course you're not thinking that when you lose a child. So don't get me wrong here.
Yeah.
But as I'm watching it, damn, the generational wealth that
Yeah.
was
right
3
there.
months away,
It was right there.
Just
Yeah.
got canceled. Yeah.
it's out the door.
Right.
I know you're dealing with a different kind of loss, but that's
That
there.
compounds it though.
So you're right. Ish, like,
Compounded.
yeah, it's a draft and what number we going, and that shit is fucking obsolete in the grand scheme of things. But to the people that make it there, it's everything. To the families, to the siblings, to the, we talked about that Scottie Pippen story when the Jordan doc aired about the contract disputes and the beef and who he had to take care of and provide for, and what would you do in that spot? Just what would you do? It's easy for us to observe and fucking analyze and critique, but
pass judgment,
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Ish just had this a talk similar to this.
And I hope that whole rant is taken the right way.
yeah.
No. Why would it not be? That's totally true.
Like, I'm definitely not saying that should be on their mind.
No, of course not.
No, not at all.
Look, me and Ish just had this talk. I was telling him about a partner of mine who played in the NFL and was talking about how he wanted to join the protests and all that other stuff, but he was just like, yo, I got too many motherfuckers that
That I
depend on me.
feed.
I'm feeding too many people. I can't do that, risk it, and then it be over like that. I agree with the cause, but he was like, it's so much easier for people at home to say, yo, y'all should do this, y'all should do that.
That's true.
Y'all should all band together and support Cap and do this, that, and the third. But what happens when we do? Like, it's so many people.
And you're not a star.
And yeah.
If you're not a star, you better sit your ass down. And I get it.
I get it.
Don't get me wrong,
When
I get
when he
it.
broke it down, I said, damn,
I
dog,
get it.
I didn't look at it that way. I kind of get it.
But those same people go to work every single day and they hate their job and hate their boss. And you don't just go in there and curse them out and quit.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so again, it's easier to pass judgment on somebody else to say they should be doing certain things when you won't even follow that same ideology. Like, fuck out of here.
Sure.
It was
And
just,
back-
more,
back-
it was
go
just
ahead.
more so to say that, like, one act, like you said, it could
We
all be gone in a second.
It could be gone.
So you're trying to protect that, like, yo, this is my family, and like you said, generational wealth, kids down the line.
So I'm gonna take the sacrifices for y'all.
yeah.
I'm gonna take the bumps and
Yeah.
bruises for y'all. I'm like even Mace back in the day. when he was saying like, "Yo, I wore the shiny suits, so my sister in Harlem World didn't have to wear them." You know what I'm saying? Like trying to so that's what you got to do.
And back to posthumous albums, like I will listen to someone like a Pop Smoke, for instance, or a Big L back in the day. That posthumous album I like to support because like he never had a chance to fulfill his shit. For someone like Prince or Michael Jackson,
They
or
were already
Pac,
established. Yeah,
they have
yeah.
mad albums. Like there's a huge legacy for their family already. And I still support it being released, I guess. But
And it's a reason them albums ain't come out. Like
Right.
that counts
Right.
from the artistic side. There's a reason that I didn't put this out because I didn't want. It ain't like I had an album, I wanted to drop it, and some bullshit happened. I couldn't. No,
Right.
no, no.
I'm glad
I
y'all-
chose to not drop the shit.
And I'm glad you're making that point because sometimes I'll listen to a posthumous album because I disagree with the artist.
what
like-
you mean?
What you mean?
Like
it
Pac
should've
put a
dropped.
bunch of shit out after he wasn't here that he might not have wanted to go out that I thought was absolute fire, and yeah, put it out. Like you work too much. You work too much and too hard, and I get where you was going, and this is close enough to it for me. Prince, I agree with the standard. If it ain't Purple Rain, if it ain't Diamonds and Pearls, if it ain't, that was his bar.
but I think it's different with
Kanye likes you to see the escalation of things. So maybe I don't mind him doing it. When I used to play unreleased joints all the time, I liked for fans to be involved in that process. Execs and fucking label people, well, you was there. You know they all hated me. They hated me.
I
for it.
hated you. I'm like,
They
so
hated me
stop
for it.
doing that shit. But now,
Yeah, but
Right now, it's
Now look.
wait.
now look,
No,
it's
but-
everybody on Instagram.
to your Kanye point and your Prince point, with a Prince project or a Kanye project, it's musicianship, right? With most rappers, the lyrical content plays a huge part.
That's
right?
musicianship too, though.
I'm not.
Okay.
Definitely, but how a rapper is judged for the most part is bars,
Right.
or a big part of it is bars.
Maybe.
And then the music. Yeah, you're right.
I get it.
You're right.
I get where you're
Yeah,
going.
you're right.
Yeah.
But again, and then the sound, the music, and all of that other stuff would be second back in the day. Now that's primary. But so when you start talking about Pac and some of that shit, he still was spitting that shit.
True.
Even though the beat might not have been the greatest, even though the track might not have been as greatest, or it might not have been mixed and dadded down, he still was talking that shit and could hit you in the heart like, whoa.
I put Machiavelli against any album ever made, and he wasn't here.
But that
But
was
it
something
was
he was working on.
yeah.
Like, back
I
the
know.
way he
You
said.
have, like,
I know
Life
that's what-
After
I know
Death,
that's
you
what they-
have them albums that
No,
were
no.
in the making or just about done.
Whoa. Not the same. Not the same. Won't let you do it. Life After Death was about to drop. Not Machiavelli. That's not true with Machiavelli.
Yes, it is.
I thought that was the
That
case.
was
I
done,
could be
though.
wrong. I
Machiavelli
could be
came
wrong.
out in 97, right?
Wasn't Machiavelli done?
I thought it was, but I could be wrong.
I think it
I
came
could
out
absolutely
wrong,
be wrong.
I'm just saying, even if it wasn't, even if it was in towards the finishing
96
stages,
release
like,
date.
Yeah, see that album
Release
was done.
date,
He was done.
November 5th, 96.
He died in September '96. That album was done.
No, we're not saying the same thing. This is what I'm saying, just so we're clear, because I get y'all point. I'm saying Life After Death had Big State Alive, was scheduled, slated to drop. He was in the route of it dropping, like traveling the route of the album. Pac was not. He might have had that album finished or was working on an album, but it wasn't on the way to being delivered to the streets. When Pac died, there was time to tinker with it and just do things to it.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
One, I think, was meant
I get it. He was in a promo run already. damn
meant
near.
to sound like I wanted it to sound, and
I'm
then
done.
I and then
I'm
I
done
passed.
here.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
here.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah, got it.
I'm done.
Although, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to do more research on Machiavelli. Because if it came out a month later, after he passed, 2 months after he passed, in the days of analog with reels, that album was done. That album was done. This was not Pro Tools.
not
We're
today.
still pulling up the session and changing the EQ. No, this was, you had to take a day to fix a vocal. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like,
Well, the genius of Pac is, now that it's all in hindsight, you and I in music, how would we know? Like listening to that album,
He
there
talking about
really is no way to know.
I'm just talking about
but
from a
he's talking about
technical.
He's
yeah,
talking-
from like the engineering and all of that side of it.
It would be
you wanted
nearly
to tweak
impossible
something.
in that era
in that time frame
to pull it up
That
and-
album had to have been completed
2
Yeah.
months
prior to him passing.
release.
No tinkering after that. Is
Yeah.
what Parks is
Prior
saying.
2 months to release.
highly unlikely that there was a lot of tinkering.
Gotcha.
If there's anybody out there that knows anything about that, I'd love to hear something.
Now,
Yeah.
now back to how you say it,
Posthumous.
Posthumous.
A possum.
Ice, don't try to stretch out these other topics
no,
to avoid your shit.
Listen,
We're getting,
It's a good combo.
What I'm saying though is, as a fan of an artist, I don't care. I just want to hear it, even if it ain't what you intended. Just because I'm a fan. If I don't like it, cool. I will never turn down new music from someone I'm a fan of.
Or opportunity to potentially.
Like, I got a bunch of verses, just verses. They're not even the songs aren't finished. Anything from King Von that he was working on.
Okay.
I don't care if they never drop. I just like, because I'm such a fan.
Sure.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I guess the dilemma for me is that when I guess you judge people on posthumous stuff. So as a diehard fan or someone that may have known him or known someone close to him, I think it's awesome that you had the music to listen to. But when it goes out to the public and now people can shit on it or something, that's unfair to that man's legacy.
Like I said with the Pop Smoke album, that's what happened. The album went out. It was unfinished stuff that his friends in his circle was saying, yo, we don't like this.
Right.
He wouldn't have liked this. This is a disrespect to him.
That's important to me.
But the fans, I'm talking about just a casual fan, like my little brother, huge Pop Smoke fan.
Uh-huh.
He couldn't wait for that to drop. And he's going to find what he likes in it, and he's good. Just because it's new music from someone that I am a huge fan of, I'll take what I could get.
And I think you got to just eat it.
Yeah,
because that feeds his family.
Oh, no doubt. And that's back to my point. When it's someone that was cut short, unexpectedly, then I think it's important to support it.
I want to get back to Parks' point, and I want to flow with him being correct about the Machiavelli album. If he's correct, then I'm more blown away by this track list in this album. Because you don't make this album and then die.
And this album came out right after.
Right after.
No. He had another album in '96, didn't he?
He dropped 2 that year?
I think so.
Well, while y'all look it up,
yes.
What I mean is, on the intro to the Machiavelli album, it was rumored that Pac is saying, Suge shot me. Mm-hmm. Right? That was the big thing.
Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. The conspiracy.
Then there was Hail Mary, where he addressed... No, that's against the law. But then there's Hail Mary. Just Hail Mary. Just think about Hail Mary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Toss it up, we'll skip that. To Live and Die in L.A. Mm-hmm. Blasphemy. Life of an Outlaw. Just Like Daddy. Crazy. White Man's World. Skip Me and My Girlfriend. I don't think that's relevant to what I'm trying to say. Hold Your Head. Neither that one either. And Against All Odds.
He addressed it. Yeah.
Fam, do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? If Parks is right, you don't make this album and then die.
But again,
it's genius whether Parks is right,
No.
Pac is the man.
This is Pac we talking about. Remember, even on the All Eyes on Me album,
nigga, Me
where
Against
he
the
was
World,
kind of like
that.
prophesizing, I'm not going to be here but much longer.
I do believe that people
have
know and people can feel when death might be imminent, right? Like, I heard 2 gentlemen that I just refuse to ever speak about in life, but here we fucking are. Redacted and Redacted. Okay. I heard Redacted tell Redacted, yo, I don't think that you afraid to die. I think you've pictured it. I think you saw how it plays out, and you have accepted the terms of that, and now that's just how you live it. And I agree with him. Like, when he said it, I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's a fact. I believe that about the gentleman, too.
Have you watched...
I believe there's a lot of entertainers out there, by the way. Ice, you know when Chris Brown dropped that fucking X-Files EP, I was worried. I expressed that. I said, whoa, y'all listening? Future, the fans, like, I believe a lot of artists go through that and we gloss over it.
The doc that about Redacted that dropped a year or so ago, they kind of said that as well. It was like, yo, it seems like he has this idea that I'm not going to be here much longer. And if I go, that'll cement me. It's almost like I know it's coming, so I'm just going to run head on into it. I'm not going to duck and hide. I'm going to embrace it if it comes.